All right, let's be real, lads. Have you ever had a moment in your life where you've looked and said, what the hell just happened? One minute, you're young, full of dreams, and the next, you're in a loveless marriage, working a job you can't stand, fantasizing about your daughter's best friend, apparently, and buying a red Pontiac Firebird? Oh, wait, that's American Beauty. Because this movie, lads, it's also kind of life, isn't it? I mean, this happens a lot. You know, like this is why this movie hits hard. It takes everything we pretend is fine. Suburbia, marriage, careers, the so-called American dream, if you want to call it that, and just rips it apart in the most stunning way possible. And here's the kicker. The first thing we hear in this movie is Lester Burnham telling us he's already dead. Yeah, a dead man narrating. That's the film way of saying strap in, lads. This is going to be one hell of a ride. Peter. So just before we get into the nitty gritty of American Beauty, just a quick update on the timetable going forward for 2025. So we've talked about obviously motor racing, Formula One. We talk about relationships, dating. We talk about comedy or movie reviews, movies of the week, etc. So for now, every Monday is going to be motor racing. Every Tuesday is going to be relationships and dating. And then every Friday is going to be either 3 must-watch movies or it's going to be Formula One, motor racing, and movies. All right, so it's 3 podcasts a week, and we might change it up too because obviously we're talking about comedic stuff, so we can change things up, but it'll be in the same category. So 3 episodes a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. So Monday's motor racing, Tuesday's relationships, dating, and Friday's movies and motor racing are just movies and comedy. So anyway, let's get into it. So let's talk about Lester Burnham, played by Kevin Spacey, man. He won the Oscar for this. Exceptional performance. Now, say what you will about Spacey, and, you know, people can say a lot these days. You know, we don't know exactly what happened, the ins and outs of his allegations, but you gotta say, his performance in this film, it's insane, man. He plays Lester Burnham, a guy who, on the surface, you know, has the, quote, perfect life, the nice house, he's got the wife, the kid, the corporate job, but in reality, he's a dead man walking. And his wife, Carolyn, obsessed with appearances. I mean, this woman is just mental. She's the kind of person who listens to self-help tapes and waters her plants with desperation, and then their daughter Jane, well, she hates them both. Standard teenage rebellion, I guess, for a lot of kids out there. Except she has good reason. Her parents are miserable, so naturally they've made her life miserable too. And then out of nowhere, Lester sees Angela, Jane's best friend, and boom, midlife crisis unlocked. It's like something wakes him up, and suddenly he starts acting like a 17-year-old again. He's working out, he's quitting the job, smoking weed with the creepy neighbor kid. And this is where the movie throws you a curveball because it makes you uncomfortable watching this, you know, but it also makes you laugh. You're watching a guy completely unravel, but damn it, you're rooting for him. Now, before we go deeper, let's throw in some did you know facts about this movie, lads. The role of Lester Burnham almost went to Tom Hanks. Did you know that? I could still see Tom Hanks play an incredible performance, but I just can't imagine anybody without Kevin Spacey, man. Kevin Spacey's dry sarcasm and deadpan humor were perfect for Lester. Did you know as well, the iconic rose petal scene, I'm just watching them on the screen here, lads. The iconic rose petal scene almost didn't happen. That scene where Angela is covered in rose petals. Director Sam Mendes almost cut it because he thought it might look too weird. Thank God he didn't because, well, it's one of the most famous shots in film history. Then we got number 3. The plastic bag scene was inspired by real life. I mean, Ricky's whole plastic bag floating in the wind thing, that actually happened to writer Alan Ball. He saw a bag floating one day and thought, that's kind of cool, man. That's cinematic. Originally, the film was a murder mystery, and the story was told through a courtroom case. would have changed the whole movie, man. Okay, let's get back to the chaos. So while Lester's spiraling into his teenage fantasy world here, lads, let's talk about the real freak in the movie. Colonel Frank Fitz, U.S. Marine Corps. I mean, brilliantly played by Chris Cooper, absolutely brilliantly. The guy's military strict, treats his son like garbage, and has some serious repressed issues. We mightn't say too much about that. We don't want to ruin any endings here. Meanwhile, Carol is having an affair with the king of real estate. Don't worry, this doesn't blow the whole movie for you. She's sleeping with Buddy Kane, and honestly, she thinks she's winning at life, when in reality, she's just filling the emptiness. And then there's Ricky Fitz, the kid next door, played by, was it Wes Bentley? And with those kind of haunting, creepy eyes-ish. Dude is obsessed with filming everything. And again, that just adds to the creepiness of the movie here. But then you take him in. You take him in. Dead birds. He's filming dead birds, homeless people, plastic bags. The guy sees beauty in the darkest, weirdest places. And then somehow, he's the only guy in the movie actually happy. I mean, it's so bizarre. And then let's talk about one of the best moments in the movie, when Lester quits his job. The guy blackmails his boss, takes a year's salary, and starts working at a fast food joint because it's just brain dead easy job. It's so cool, man. It'll hurt your stomach laughing. We get to the climax. Don't worry, no spoilers here, lads. Okay, we won't go there far. But this is where the S really hits the fan. Lester finally almost gets Angela. At the last second, she tells him she's a virgin. And suddenly, just like that, the illusion shatters. It's like he's just woken up from his 17-year-old magic spell that he's been put under. And he realizes he's been acting like a dumbass. And it's quite sad, I have to say. Ricky and Jane decide to run away together, because they're convinced their parents are insane, which, you can't really argue with that one. Carolyn, now completely broken, grabs a gun. And then one last thing without saying anything else. Then Colonel Frank Fitz. That's all we'll say on that. And then boom, the movie gets to the real climax. And it's shocking. It's weird. It's beautiful. There's a lot of narration at this point at the end of the movie. Beautiful score to the movie. It's just awesome. And then we're left with the final thoughts, American Beauty, it's not just about a midlife crisis. It's about how everyone in the movie is chasing something fake. Money, beauty, power, control. And in the end, none of it matters. None of it matters. The only people who find any peace? Well, one or two. It's hilarious, it's dark, it's disturbing, it's brilliant. If you've never seen American Beauty, lads, go watch it. If you've seen it before, watch it again. Take it off the shelf, put it on Netflix or wherever it is, or YouTube, because the older you get, the more you realize the film wasn't just talking about Lester. It was talking about all of us. We can relate to a lot of the characters in many ways, shapes, or forms in this movie. American Beauty, absolute must-watch.
Peter. Wow.